I want to start with this, and Tibbs, we'll start with you as one who has been involved in putting together teams and organizations in the NBA. To me, the star of all of this is Masai Ujiri, who was the general manager of the Raptors. And to just call him the executive of the year, in my opinion, sells short what he accomplished. Bear in mind that a little less than a year ago, he fired the coach of the year and traded away the face of the franchise. And 11 months later, he looks like a genius.
Yeah, I think it was a major move by Masai, and it's calculated risk. I think he saw that the team he had went about as far as it could go in his eyes. It also coupled with LeBron leaving the East, so there was an opportunity there. I think he rolled the dice. There's a big gamble in this, and it's obviously paying off right now. But they gave up a lot. They gave up DeMar DeRozan. They gave up Pirtle, who was a terrific young player, and a first-round pick. But he's in a great position now. He's got two paths that he can go down. If Kawhi stays, obviously that's the best path for them. If he goes, they can move in a different direction and also start a rebuild. Right. And then they would make other roster adjustments. They're in a terrific position. I think he felt they were at the end of the rope with the team that he had. Yeah,
they could be starting a rebuild in as soon as a month, which is crazy to think about. But do you think Kawhi is going to stay in Toronto?
I don't think so. Win, lose, or draw, I think he leaves. I just think it's a better opportunity for him where he perceives to be going, and that's out west to the Los Angeles Clippers or the Los Angeles Lakers. And I just think, you know, Toronto's a great city, and he did some great things there. You know, hopefully they get the job done and win the NBA Finals, but I think he's gone either way.
Now, let's analyze that for a minute, because when we say it's a better situation, at least he perceives it to be. Yeah. I understand there's no place like home, and he's a Southern California guy, and he just strikes you as the kind of person for whom that familiarity is important, right? That's just the kind of personality he seems to have. Having said that, it's easier to win in the East. He's got a team in the NBA Finals, and they have a lot of good young pieces. So his best chance to win is probably to remain in Toronto, no?
Well, it depends on who goes with him. You know, we've talked about for weeks on end how he's going to team up with Kevin Durant, or he's going to go with LeBron James in L.A. So what better way to go home to team up with two of the best players in the league?
Hold on one second, because I need to come back to you on this. And for those who don't know, I mean, DJ, you coached LeBron, you played with LeBron, you know him very well. And the conventional wisdom for the longest time now has been Kawhi's going to the Clippers, Kawhi's going to the Clippers. Just in the last week or so, suddenly we start hearing about, you know, the Tamperer-in-Chief and all this kind of stuff. Do you believe there is a real opportunity here for Kawhi to wind up with the Lakers and LeBron?
I think it does. And you know, the conspiracy theorists are out that LeBron flew to Philadelphia during the Toronto-Philly series to meet with Kawhi. And you know what? It's a great match. Kawhi, he's one of the best two-way players in the league. He could score the basketball. LeBron is a facilitator of the basketball, and it just works well together.
That's fascinating to me. And then I want to go back to the previous thing, Tibbs, but DJ just touched on it here. Let's make sure we explain this to everybody. They might win the championship. The Raptors, 2 weeks from now, could be holding up, you know, the trophy. They might be the champions. And then if Kawhi decides to go back to the Clippers, explain their moves. They could win the title and be in a full rebuild in the span of about 3 weeks. Yeah, and I think Masai created this knowing that this would be a possibility. And so he has two great options. I think he's developed his young players. And if this does happen, they could go down a different path, and you'll probably see him move some of the older players on his roster. And if Kawhi stays, I do think when you look at Kawhi, I think if they should win it, if they do win it, and that could happen, it may be harder for him to leave. I think he won't make his decision until he has all the information that he needs. And then obviously he'll make the best decision for himself and his family. But he's got great options. You know, DJ's working for LeBron.
I'm not working for LeBron. Let me ask you this question, Tibbs. Let me ask you this question. Toronto, L.A.
Well, the one thing I would say about Kawhi, and he's talked about it often, he talks about the importance of winning. The West is a different animal. So I think that will factor into it as well. But in terms of if you're making a decision on weather and where DJ likes to hang out, maybe that way. But I think it'll be a basketball decision, and I think he'll go with the best chance that he feels he has to continue to win championships.
Go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to say that was a nice way of not like fully answering DJ's
Yeah,
question.
he didn't answer.
We have a minute. So let
Full
me
disclosure, I would say Doc Rivers, in the Clippers. So
Exactly.
Okay, there it is.
Boom.
Breaking news.
Okay, that's interesting. So Doc Rivers and the Clippers with KD. I'm just making this up now because
Right.
that's one of the if Kawhi goes to the Clippers right now by himself, and by himself is an unreasonable way to put it. The Clippers just took the Warriors 6 games in the first round of these playoffs as it was with Kevin Durant. But if it's Kawhi going there without another superstar going there, or going to the Lakers with LeBron James, I'm not sure which is necessarily the better situation. If he's teaming up with Kevin Durant with the Clippers, then forget it. KD barred the door. They're the favorites to win the championship starting immediately.
Right.
But otherwise, you're better off playing with LeBron, and with no disrespect intended to your profession, no matter who the coach is, right? LeBron and Kawhi.
come on, Greeny, come on now.
Come on, Green.
I know.
You're attacking coaches today.
Come on now. I'm part of the coaching.
Wait, everyone. We
I
got
know,
more.
I know how important rolling the balls are out there at the start of the practice. But what I'm saying,
My goodness.
but what I'm saying is, this league is about stars.
Yes.
It's about great players.
It
And
is.
in that Western Conference, you're seeing how significant that is.
Yeah.
And if I'm Kawhi Leonard, if I'm focused on winning, if I'm going to the West, I better be doing it with another player of that caliber. I'm not going to the Clippers and deciding I'm going to try and win this thing because Doc Rivers is my coach.
Well, the Clippers situation is fluid because they have 2 max spots.
Right.
And they could get another guy. Everybody wants to play in Southern California. Tibbs knows that. But if he goes in right now with LeBron James and they have one more slot, I think they can fill. I'm not for sure.
They do.
I have to ask the cap guys.
Yeah. No, they do. They have 2
You're
spots.
right.
And you can get a Kemba Walker. You can convince a Kyrie Irving to come to L.A. Then you have your next super team.